Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Check it out now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, the Funk Soul Brother. Right about now, about now, about now, about now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome, Napshot Nation. It's your boy Zami on our Tuesday show. Don't ask me why am I alone. Because it's just 7 games before the international break. But the show must go on. Ann is not here, Joel's not here, but we have few people joining the show. Okay, let's see what's the first comment. Ridwan, what up to all the crew of Napshot? Do enjoy the show tonight for the big focus. Thanks a lot for the shout out, man. Okay. Anyway, I have my neighbor from the red half of Manchester on board. Welcome, Mark, my brother.
Yes, brother from the other side, man.
Brother from there. Now it's the Manchester, the Manchester show. No, it's not the Manchester show lah.
Not yet.
Later, not yet. Later we'll have our Liverpool buddy, and then we have the Aston Villa boy, or we call him the Aston Liverpool. Villapool. Okay. So what's gonna happen is that we're gonna review. We're gonna review the Game Week 7. What is it? Game 7? Sorry, Game Week 8. Am I right? Yeah, Game Week 8.
Half of it now. Maybe
seven games. Majority of the games got postponed. A lot of teams have 2 games in hand to be played. And I think coming to the international week, this week, international week, is it the Nations League?
Yep, Nations League. 2 games.
Man. What do you think? What do you think about the Nations League? Actually, from a fan's perspective, what do you think? Is it unnecessary? Because I feel like personally that it's just a money making thing. It's not. I mean, nothing to play for actually. The relegation promotion thing is damn confusing.
Other than nothing to play, I think it's more like glorified friendly, man. The money is for UEFA, then it's a chance for managers to sample different formations and different teams. Although some of them start their favorites, as you can see from the English side.
Yeah, true. We're gonna cover that. So okay, let's invite our guests. We have Daryl, the Liverpool brother.
Yeah,
What's up, Daryl?
How y'all?
Go. Hey, how was your week, man? So far?
Boring lah. No Liverpool game. Super boring.
I feel you. I know how it feels.
Okay. So let's cover the games that happened at the 7 games. So game week review, game week 8. Okay. Let me pull up the games that we have. What are the games that we have for that set?
Not many actually.
Okay, Saturday got 4 games.
Saturday we have 4 games. Sunday we had 3 games. So first and foremost, this is the game that if Tips was around, it would be good to us. Like we will get his opinion. Okay. Anyway, you guys watched the either one of the 7 games that happened?
Spurs and Leicester actually.
Spurs and Leicester.
I watched
Spurs
the
and
City one. Yeah.
City one. Okay.
Newcastle one. Yeah.
Okay. Because we're gonna have 3 topics that is gonna talk about the 3 games that I feel that the last game week was very exciting lah. Spurs doing a massive win over Leicester, and then we're gonna talk about Leicester, and then the West Ham Everton, how West Ham is still in that zone, that relegation zone, and also we're gonna talk about how whether Arsenal is gonna build up that momentum. We'll see that the boy is in.
Who?
Mr. Steven Gerrard, is it?
Hey, you thought I
Ah,
will let you all start the show without me, huh? Zami? Hey,
Of course.
what up, people? What up, Netshot? This is your boy, Devan. I'm back after being away for what, close to 3 weeks. What to do? School commitments and all. But I
Villa
think Zami
won.
should have
What to do
introduced,
if he
right?
came back after Villa won?
Whoa,
Villa
whoa,
won.
whoa, 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 whoa. Mark. Don't, huh? Don't, huh?
Yeah.
Don't, huh? Hey, Daryl, what's up, my man? How are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good. How was the weekend knowing that there was no Liverpool game?
So boring lah. I was telling them damn bored.
All right, fellas. So, let's get the show started, lah. I mean, I'm so sorry everyone for being late. To go work out,
Yeah.
lah. So let's get the show started. Come on, Zami. What do we have in agenda?
Okay, like what I mentioned earlier on, we are going to cover game week 8,
Mhm.
and then we are going to talk about the Spurs Leicester game,
Yeah.
and also we're going to talk about the relegation FC, the two teams, West Ham and Leicester, the
Oh,
two
man.
teams.
One more
And
team
also,
missing?
one more team. What is there? One more team missing?
Aston Villa.
We're not going to talk about Aston Villa.
Perennial
Aston Villa is
relegation candidate,
15. It's just 15. Number 15 still early, you guys are. And then
Let's
we're
go,
going to
let's
talk
go.
about how Arsenal, yeah.
Go.
Okay, let's review the first game. Tips, your team, brother. Villa
go, bro.
versus Southampton. 1-0. What do you think about it, man?
Okay, lah. I mean, honestly speaking, it was an early morning kickoff, and we all know why I didn't watch the game because we had to be somewhere, right? Obviously, the next day.
Yeah.
So, but I watched the highlights. Actually, initially I was complaining like it was a dirty. I mean, it was a very disoriented performance from both the teams. Honestly, like all over Twitter, everybody was saying, "Why even bother watching that match? It was one of the most boring matches and all." I agree. It is not the most attractive football, but 3 points is 3 points, lah. Right? That's all that matters. But on the downside, guess it's not Gerrard out yet, like still Gerrard in lah. But I mean, it's not about Gerrard, it's about Villa. I'll take the 3 points. I've got no qualms about it. Let's see how the performance move on. Speaking about Southampton as well, they have been absolute dire. I mean, I don't know. They've been on the decline for the past couple of seasons, as we all know, right? So I don't know if how they're going to fare this season. But their style of play was horrendous. They had no identity. Say likewise as Villa. But I think the centre back, Mark, what was the name of the guy you were talking about? That guy
Who?
from Germany, the centre back.
Salisu,
Oh,
One
Bella
of the guys.
Kocha.
Sela Kocha. Wow, that fella is
Bella
good, man.
Kocha. Yeah.
Bella.
Bella Kocha, yeah, that fella is good. So I think he's one to watch out for. So I mean, that game was just I think we can skip Lazami that game. It's a 3 points, a 3
Nothing much,
points. Both team. I mean, in a nutshell, right? 3 points, a 3 points. Both team didn't play
Yeah.
well, but let's not complain.
So, what do you think that Gerrard has a breathing space in that sense for this season? Because he's
Definitely.
I mean, 3 points
definitely.
is 3
I
points,
think 3 points, 3 points. Not only that, I think if you see the last two games, right? We drew with City and then beating Southampton. So that's 4 points from 6 games. I think any manager who's under pressure, 4 points from 6 games. I'm sorry, 4 points from 2 games out of a possible 6 points. I think they have given themselves that breathing space, considering what we are going to cover later, right? And or the managers that are under pressure. So, if is his position safe for the rest of the season? I highly doubt so. But at least we know he's not going to be sacked during the international break. So perhaps let's see after that break is over. We've got another 8 games before the World Cup. Let's see how Villa performs and if it matches the ambition of the board. And we'll see. I think the World Cup break will give a clearer picture since it's midway through the season as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
right. Okay,
That's what I feel.
let's since Steve said let's not talk about Villa. We're gonna move to the next game. Okay, I think I really want to pick up this comment. Okay, what is this? Without Anjo, Faris not fun. Tips. How is this, Tips? What is this? This bugger really like I really want to expose what he did
No lah.
No,
One. No lah, I understand lah what obviously, but I know you still love Napshot lah, so
yeah,
that's all I'll say.
But the love for Napshot. So for those who are watching us, please share this video, man. Please share on our social media and all whatnot. So Faris say, what's up, fellas? Come on, you Lions. Red, white. Singapura. Okay, let's move on to the next game. Nottingham Forest versus Fulham.
Ooh.
This game, I think we mentioned like Mitrovic will pull that win,
Hey, Zam, let's not even go to Mitrovic. Huh? I don't know, Daryl, do you have Mitrovic in your FPL?
Yeah, I
When
brought
did
him in this week after
See?
my wildcard.
Same. And what happens? He blanks. Man.
Oh my.
Surprisingly,
Zami, continue.
surprisingly, Forest has not picked up. Forest have picked a win or not? Has they
Yeah,
picked a win?
they won. Yeah,
Yeah, they
you
won,
forgot
I
that
think.
they beat
One-
West Ham.
They won West Ham.
They won
They beat
West
West
Ham.
Ham.
With
Yeah.
the fact that they literally bought a new team. I think on Twitter I remember seeing the memes like Nottingham Forest team bus, so like triple decker. But they are second second from the bottom. So but 11. The goal difference is -11. For all the new team,
Yeah.
they are still quite unstable in that sense. Mark, what do you think? Do you think Nottingham Forest straight down?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think like unfair, they are like Fulham where they overspend on rubbish. And I don't understand, man. They signed Renan Lodi from Atletico Madrid and he didn't perform even in this squad. Then Willie Bowie, who they bought from Wolf, had a horror show and got subbed out. So
I think
Mm,
I mean the thing, okay, this is just my thought, right? I get why Forest bought so many players, lah. Okay, because when you come from the championship, especially when you don't get automatic promotion, when you're the team that comes through
Playoff.
with the championship playoff, right? And Villa has been there, with the season we got promoted. Most championship teams their players are all either in the last few years of their contract, last year of the contract, right? Or they are on loan from Premier League clubs. So when the bulk of the team leaves, right, you really need to replenish the bulk of the team, and you need to buy players for the bench as well. So usually it doesn't. This is the reason it doesn't end very well for promoted clubs, newly promoted clubs, especially clubs that come through the championship playoff. Because we all know first and second usually is Norwich and Fulham, like yo. The club is still intact, the players, right? So I get why Forest did that. But man, what, 27 players or 25 players? Don't know how many, but
20,
oh, a lot.
I think it was 20, 25.
it's definitely more than
Last year.
20. I mean,
Uh,
it's hard. Like it's hard for players to gel. You know
You
what I mean,
can
like,
go back
Daryl.
to the championship to gel, then come up again.
That is the only option. Like you see Fulham, like when the season they came up, that was just before we came up, right? They bought the likes of Anguissa, Jean-Michael Seri. I think they got Mitrovic then as well. Then Julian Anderson, who's now at Crystal Palace. What happened? They went straight back down. So it is that case. So probably the championship money the money that they get, the 170 million, it will enable them to sustain to buy players. And if they eventually get relegated, they can still keep these core players, right? And then try
No,
to
but
come up.
I think confirm the players like the Renan Lodi and all that, they'll confirm have this relegation clause.
Confirm. Definitely.
So I think if
Definitely.
they get relegated also, I think the stars and all that will leave. Maybe Gibbs White, this kind of players and all that will leave.
True. Which means also because they have a relegation clause, I'm sure the relegation clause will bring a certain amount of sustainable money, right? So with that, they rebuild in the championship again, and then this time don't have don't have loan players mostly, and come back up. That is a difficulty when you're coming up from the championship. If you don't stay up that first season, right, it's going to be difficult. So yeah, but enough about Forest, right? Fulham. I mean, is this the season that they finally don't get relegated? What do you think, Daryl?
I think this guy Paulina and he played an amazing game that is against Nottingham Forest. But I think they got every right. They got a chance to stay up this season. I don't see them like a favorite to go down at all.
Yeah.
Looking at Leicester and teams like that, I think Fulham got a good shot to stay up this year.
I agree as well. I agree. I think Fulham has a very good shot. I mean, can they sustain their momentum? They're currently sixth. If I'm not wrong, Zami, they're currently sixth. Right?
Yeah, they're currently six
Yeah,
with
I
11
think
points. So
11
yeah.
points.
I think they
that is
can go
pretty
for
decent.
Europa. I think they can go
Yeah,
for
if they
Europa.
if they keep the momentum, they can go for Europa. But I mean, considering how the supposed teams that are meant to be, fighting for that position are not really performing well.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're in the danger of going down, considering what Daryl said, Leicester, and a couple other teams. I think finally we can see Fulham in the Premiership for the next couple of seasons if they survive.
Okay.
And like what
No,
one says,
but
nothing.
yeah, but here's the thing, like you see with with Forest buying their players, right? I think they have players who have played in the Premier League before. You know, Lingard is for one example. Knows how to play, and they have Willy
Steve Cook, the
Bolly.
centre back.
They have Sir Agure
Serge Aurier,
Rueri. Then they have full like
Nico
Koyate.
Williams and all that.
So it's not like as if they are overwrought with the Premier League style standards in that sense,
True.
But then again, buying new players, basically buying a totally new squad, right? First and foremost, definitely the gelling of the players, is one thing lah. But I think it's really gonna take a miracle for them to actually stay in the, to stay up this season.
That's true.
I've,
That's
I've a Nottingham Forest fan. You can call him one, but I will let
Oh,
him
one.
know.
Actually, that will be interesting. One, just
Yeah.
ping us. We'd love to have someone like that on board on our show as well. We would love to see their point of view because they will definitely have a different point of view. So one, just hit any one of us up. Just give us a
Yeah.
contact and we will.
You know the drill.
You know the drill, one.
Share
You know the
share snapshot to him. Sell
Yeah.
him snapshot, and then he will come on board, see the show, and then he will we'll get him on board definitely. Because I think it's interesting because we always talk about the top 6 teams, or the mid table teams, but
Yep.
we are talking about the new boys, fans who are new to support Southampton, Nottingham Forest, to come on board to especially talk about their team, how their chances in
Yep.
in surviving in that sense. Yeah. Right.
Right. Okay, quick question before I move, right, Daryl?
Yep.
Nottingham Forest up or down?
Down.
Okay. Mark?
Down, man.
Down?
Collective. I think
Down.
collectively we agree.
You know why, right? So there's already one, so which we all agree will go down, right? Okay. Let's go to the next topic.
Okay. The next topic. My team. The team on form. Wolves versus City.
Do we really have to even talk about this? Like, guys, foregone conclusion, right?
Tips, you want to talk tips? The first goal, first minute. Oh boy.
Gucci boy, Gucci.
I captain Haaland. I thought okay lah today another 3-4 goal going
That's
to go.
what I thought.
Hey,
Okay lah, at least he scored lah.
Daryl, you say you watch the game. Okay, what's your take on the game?
I
It's
think
interesting to
I think actually I think the red card actually also spoiled the game lah. The Jack Grealish one, but that was a clear red card lah. But actually I'm actually happy for that guy Jack Grealish. People are like giving him the slander that he's a flop, and Pep coming out and say that he didn't buy him for him to score goals or something like that. Right? He said, well, I think Pep can talk whatever he wants lah, because his team is so good lah.
No, I think with Pep, right? If you look at it as a manager, right, like you wouldn't slate your players in public.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think Grealish knows that he has a big target on his back lah, in terms of like performing. Because, and I think definitely, I think tips we know like 100 million for, I think, is he like the most expensive English player so far?
Yeah. He's the most expensive British player.
British player. So
or English
of course
player for the EPL lah.
English player for of course it's gonna be that the eyes will definitely be on him. Is he gonna perform? But the fact that Pep knows that, okay, rather than slating him in public, with his performance, take that distraction away, so that he doesn't, and look at it, before the game, Pep says, by him not to assist on score goals, first minute, that boy score.
And it's an added sweetener for him, I mean, he's a lifelong Villa fan. We all know that, right? And to score against Wolves,
the Midland.
I think it's just like a cherry on the cake.
I was reading somewhere about 1 hour ago that he's considering his future in the end of the season or something like that. I don't know if it's true or not.
I don't mind, man. Zami, how 30-40 million loan option?
No. I mean, no. If you look at it, like, let's say, okay, I think the pressure of I think we talked about this before. When he was at Villa, he was the big fish in the small pond.
Mm-hmm.
So when he went to City, he has to raise his game. Playing with KDB. And I think for City, I mean, as a City fan, I know that when City bought him, is actually supposed to replicate that David Silva style of play. Because I think tips. No, like, he was the winger that cuts in.
Yep.
He doesn't have that presence playing at the center. He has always been the kind where he will just cut in from the
From the
wings,
left, he
and
cuts in. He gets the
yeah,
freedom to just move
yeah,
around. Yeah.
yeah. So and that was what David Silva was when he was at City. So I think that pressure of that price tag, and also the fact that people expect him to come into City and starts the train moving, right. That pressure is really that challenge lah.
Actually, Zam, I will respectfully disagree with you. You see, watching City play, right? All right. You know that he's not going to get that freedom, so
Mm,
that restricts his gameplay. The Grealish that I saw at Villa, right, is clearly not the Grealish at City. I mean, yes, fair enough, because like what you said, right, at Villa, he is the focal attack. He is the focal point of the attack, right?
mm,
And everything goes through him. And when players are marking him, he just makes something out of something out of nothing. But it's sad to see him when he plays at City, and he doesn't even he's not even given the opportunity to bring the ball forward. He gets the ball, he goes sideways or backwards, he passes again. That
mm,
is not Grealish. So in this case, right, this is the question I have, and I want to ask Mark first before I ask you, right?
mm.
Do you think as a player, Mark, do you think as a player they will actually regress instead of actually improving because of this situation?
Actually, I feel that how you say, because you're not playing to his potential, and yet he's being fit into a system where he won't maximize his talent. So actually, to me, I don't see him improve much. Maybe we're more to being regimented into a system, right? For Grealish to really progress, right? He has to leave lah. Like how he has that role at Villa where he's like he can have a free role where he can drop to the left, go through the middle. So I agree with you lah that Grealish has to leave City lah.
So this is where the
Yeah.
sub question comes in, right? So you see, we saw Zaha move to United,
Mm.
didn't cut it out United,
Yep.
went back to Palace, and that's where he has been all his life, right?
Yep.
So, but Zaha was a
The
youngster when he was
Zaha one, yeah
United
lah.
too.
He was young at a point in
Yeah,
Mm.
he was
time.
very young. In Grealish cases, he's like 27 this year, right? So, even if he does move out of City, wherever he goes, let's not talk about Villa, wherever he goes, right? So then if that's the case, is it that they are, what is wrong there? Like what is going on? Like you see, look at people like KDB. KDB excelled when he moved to City, right?
Mm.
Um, Even Mahrez, it was a step up. Bernardo Silva step up. Why is it different with Grealish? What do you think, Zami?
I don't know. I feel that the English pressure, the English media would definitely be there lah.
Mhm.
I think first and foremost the price tag. With that price tag, right, it's gonna always be that big burden on his shoulder. Because you see, if you look at it, he's more expensive than Haaland.
Yeah.
How and the English media, we all know that the English media is ruthless,
True.
and put City into the equation, wow, it's amplified. And when you come to City, you are expected to have that standards. So for Grealish, right, to do what he does, okay, he puts in the shift, no doubt about it.
Mhm.
He's the player that I have never complained. No, I have no complaints before. No, it's never frustrating to watch him, and no, ever since he played. It's like if you were to ask me from a City fans perspective, compare him with Raheem Sterling. You know,
Mhm.
I feel that he does his shift better than Sterling. Sterling
Mhm.
overdoes things. So I think the fact that he is the most expensive British player in the EPL, that expectations plus the media giving him that added pressure is going to be difficult for him to, like, how do you raise your game? You are not Messi in that sense. You're not
Yep.
CR7.
Yep.
And Haaland, and you are more expensive than Haaland.
True.
And how are you? I think that's where the mentality comes in place. And like what I said earlier on, coming from Villa, big fish in a small pond,
Mhm.
coming to City. No disrespect to Villa, but to
Some
lose that.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Daniel, the fight gonna start here. His captain said the same thing, no disrespect to Villa, but in Villa, if they lose matches, it's not a big deal. And now he also say no
I
disrespect to
think I
Villa.
think mainly about especially Pep Guardiola and his system. I think that he buys players to suit his system of football. Like you see, like for example, like Thierry Henry when he went from Arsenal to Barcelona, When you look at his style of play in Barcelona, Henry's job is just stay near the flanks and
Yeah.
just at the line there. He doesn't do like what he do in Arsenal. So it all depends on what Grealish wants to do. He's not going to get the ball at how he used to get in
At Villa.
Aston Villa and stuff like that. So he either adapts to Pep's style or he just needs to leave lah.
But then again, so does this brings the next question? Does Pep or City buy players so that the rivals can't strengthen, or do they buy the players so that
See,
the
another
clubs can't
player is
improve?
maybe another next year we'll be talking about Calvin Phillips
Calvin Phillips.
about the same scenario.
But to be fair to him,
Calvin,
he's injured lah.
yeah,
To be
yeah,
fair
yeah,
to him,
but
he's injured now. But yeah,
we might be talking about that
True.
Next season.
pretty interesting. But let's come back to the score. I think we got very carried away with Grealish, right? 2-0 City. Oh wait, 3-0. Sorry, 3-0 City.
3-0. Then the red
And,
card, that highlight
the
the red card. Okay, this is interesting because Mark, you're a referee. Your thoughts about it? I mean,
Oh,
for me,
that's-
from personal perspective, it's a red card lah because high league. But then again, I think people were comparing like if Haaland did that high kick, that goal, why is it a red card for this? So Mark, from a referee's perspective, what do you think?
I mean, you see, before the contact, he was running towards Grealish, right? He was looking at Grealish and the ball. It means like you look at the ball, then you look at Grealish. You look at the ball, you look at Grealish. Means actually there was intention there already. And the way he goes in, right, his leg straightens. So it starts out. So any challenge you go in with a you straighten your leg, right, and starts out, right, it's straight away already. Yeah, you don't have to talk much about it. That's why I don't know what Nathan Collins is arguing about. I don't know what went on in his head. Really, I really don't understand.
The entire Wolves stand was clapping that he he did that challenge all because of that rivalry. I mean, the scums lah. I hope they go down. Interesting comment I want to pick up here, Zam, and I want to give this to you, right? Nothing is more expensive than Haaland when you're only looking at his transfer fee and ignoring his wages. Agent fee to the late Raiola. Cousins now run the firm. Also his father pocketing technically over 100 million, but worth every penny. Right. I mean, the man's got a point, right? Fair enough. Technically, if you think about it, right? Fair enough.
I mean, if you look at it like transfer, okay, I think for transfers, we as fans will never have the real picture on how the transfer works. I mean, even if you play Football Manager, it's not really a detail how's it the breakdown in terms of like what is being paid, agents fee, all that, processing fee, but let's put it this way lah. I think the time football has evolved in such a way that transfer fee will never be, you won't get a player for 1 million. No, you won't get a world class player for $1 million. You will never get that. That era has passed its course already.
Yep.
It will keep going on being expensive, and I'm sure that maybe 30 years down the road, we will have our first maybe maybe $500 million player,
$1 billion transfer.
$1 billion player. It can happen because even if you look at it like you look at Barcelona, because how they have because I think Spanish league is the clubs, they have the release clause, and I think
every player in the La Liga
it's like $1 billion release clause. Like who would pay that? It's like akin to like you imagine like
for the sake of putting lah.
Yeah, it's not even about putting off clubs. Like you imagine if PSG decide to what, okay, I don't know, the owner say, okay, you know what, let's show the money. It can happen, right? Because as you can see over the years, the transfer fees have always been increasing, has never decreased. So maybe past our time, maybe 50 years down the road, we will see the first $1 billion transfer fee player. That can happen.
True, definitely. I mean, we all know that the Neymar transfer broke everything. Neymar's transfer really caused the inflation for transfers that followed after.
Actually, I feel it's the Pogba one actually. That was the first one. I think it's Pogba about 90 million, or that's when everybody was like, what the hell, 90 million.
But it's also quite common, right, during that period where I mean, players away from like Kaká, Ronaldo, they all went about that, or Bale as well. I think if I'm not wrong, Neymar was the first one to cross the 100 million mark.
Yeah.
And then I think after that,
Coutinho
and then Coutinho,
to
Dembele,
Barca. Yeah.
Musa Dembele, and that Joao Felix from to Atletico Madrid.
From Benfica to Atletico Madrid.
I want to bring this up, but I know Liverpool didn't play this weekend, right? But Daryl, I want to ask you this, and this is not uh this is not directed at Ridwan, but he always said, not someone, a lot of people say Nunes Haaland, right? And we all know how Haaland is performing and how Nunes is performing, right? I want to understand from you as a Liverpool fan what is happening with Nunes and Liverpool. I know we don't have Liverpool. Liverpool didn't play this
If you
week, so
put Haaland at Liverpool, he also will struggle. That's my point. If you put
okay,
Danny Welbeck at Man City, he will score at least 10 to 15 goals. That's my point. You understand what
okay,
I'm trying to say?
yep,
Because you look at the supply that Haaland has,
mm-hmm.
De Bruyne, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Cancelo, we got Grealish, look at the supply chain. And Liverpool
Mm-hmm.
supply chains only come from wing backs. It's either Arnold gives you or Robertson gives you. The midfield of Liverpool is just to win back the ball and pump to the Salah or Diaz or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different style of play. So if Haaland was in Liverpool also, I think he will maybe he will score, but he will not as like score hat tricks like how he's in Man City.
In
That's
Man
my
City.
point.
So
So
in that aspect, right? Sorry to cut you off. In the aspect, because last season and I mean sub seasons before, right? We saw how fluid the Liverpool attack field. I mean,
mm,
Salah, Firmino, Mane, and
mm,
for good 2-3 seasons, right? Very fluid attack up front.
mm.
So, do you think Nunes may have? I may be wrong. We may be wrong. But do you think at this point of time, Nunes may not be that thing that Liverpool needs?
I think he needs a bit more time because I think the last game we played Ajax, actually he did okay,
Mm-hmm.
not as bad because he's not when he came on against Ajax, he was playing more to a left wing. He
Okay.
wasn't like the number 9 on top. He and Diaz, like they always switch. Yeah, so he's a player. What I see so far, he's just a taller version of Diego Jota. That's like
Mm-hmm.
he's not a Haaland player. He's not an out and
Right.
out goal scorer. So I think it's very hard to compare for
Right.
both of
Right.
them. Yeah, that's all.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Okay. So Zam, what we're doing is, are we done with Wolves, Man City?
Yeah. I think we covered because we covered about the red card as well.
Yeah.
Mark says it best because Mark as a referee he has a better insight in that sense. Because I think for us as fans, that whenever a foul, cynical foul, it will always be like, oh, why is there no red card? Why is there no red card? But I think from a referee's perspective, they have more insight in that sense. Okay, I think we want to pick this up before from Prem. Okay,
Yep.
Nunes is a 9 but likes to peel away from the left. When you want a striker of his status, the midfield needs to be close. Okay, can't be static. Okay, this is interesting. Okay, if I remember correctly, when City bought Haaland,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people were dismissing that Haaland will not fit the City.
Yeah,
City for
including me. Yeah.
yeah, and I think when Darwin Núñez was bought by Liverpool, they said that he will fit because he is like a like for like replacement for Firmino. That was what I remembered. My Liverpool supporting friend was saying that Haaland will struggle, and I think that's the reason why we had that debate. But no,
Haaland was
Núñez,
Nunes, right?
Haaland. But then again, from Daryl, another question. Just before we move to the next thing. Okay, do you think the loss of Mane was more impactful in this sense? Because you see, if you look at it, right, selling Mane, you guys sold what 90 million? Is it? Was it 60 or 90?
To
Mane.
money, I
Money.
think it's for 30-40 million around there.
30-40 million.
Yeah.
So, would it be better in that sense that you guys tried to keep money rather than spending money on Nunes?
I think the Nunes one also actually Klopp's first priority was to get a midfielder in. That's why he wanted to bolster the Real Madrid midfielder Touchmani.
Ushmani,
Yeah,
yeah.
they wanted him. Yeah, I think Mane already informed Liverpool that he wants to leave at the end of the season because he wanted to have a new challenge. So I think the Diaz deal was supposed to happen in the summer, but they actually bought him early because they were afraid that Tottenham would have snatched him lah. So I think the missing Mane part, yes, we do miss Sadio Mane, but I think Diaz is actually trying his best to cover up that part for us.
Because you see,
I think nothing is wrong actually with the attack. It's just that midfield is the problem for Liverpool. It's not the attack part for Liverpool.
because
I
you
don't
see,
think so.
because I remember. Okay, sorry to cut you off. So I remember that Mane was in a way reinvented as a false nine, And I
Yep.
remember that Liverpool played against City. Mane did a lot of damage for City's defense playing in the
In the
false nine.
center. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just thinking from that perspective, like, if the club could have, I mean,
Offered him a contract bigger
yeah,
money. Yeah.
offer him a better contract, or even Klopp, doing his management skills by convincing, what, I see you as important as Salah,
Mm.
you know,
Yes.
because if you look at it, money is not exactly lighting up the league at the end.
Nah, he's not. He's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, and there were rumors saying that he's not exactly feeling the same love or
Love.
impact. Yeah, so I feel like, do you feel like it's a gamble that Liverpool took, and it's a bad hand lah in that sense, because
I agree with you, Zam. Yes. I think that
Mm,
Liverpool should have give a lot of importance on Sadio Mane because people were talking about, oh, Salah's contract is going to end, Salah's contract, but nobody actually focused on, nobody actually,
Correct.
hey, Mane's contract is also ending, but nobody actually talked about that. So I think Mane is also knowing that, okay, everything is on him, they want to pay him, and then I think that's what also drew him away from Liverpool, if you ask me. I think
I
Liverpool
mean,
should have
more of
given more
yeah.
importance
Salah.
to him as
Salah was the bride. Mane was always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
the
And
backside of it. And
yeah.
Sadio Mane had a fantastic season last year. So. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
okay, good insight in
Let's
that
go.
sense. Like, okay, so the next one we're gonna talk about Newcastle Bournemouth.
I realize and I don't know whether whether you all realize, right? This Sunil has been missing for some time. Newcastle not been winning properly. The fella go missing, and never mind, we'll handle him on. But Mark, Newcastle Bournemouth. I swear, I expected Newcastle to win like 2-3-0.
Oh yeah, I was I think I said the same thing also.
Right? And it was 1-1, and it's not even they scored first.
They
Bournemouth
played
scored
quite
first.
bad actually.
Yeah, like so. This is where I want to bring in something, right? We talk about all the hype of So even myself, I'm guilty of this, right?
Mm.
So saying that my club is performing like shit, Gerrard out and all of that. But this match is a take I want to take, right? Supposedly Newcastle were having a very good season with a good manager, and how they've got a system going, and Villa has been having a shit season, and how Gerrard needs to go out, right? But the difference in point is only one.
Mm.
So help me understand, Mark. Mark froze.
Mark froze.
Mark froze.
Yeah,
He
mine
was like,
like-
Okay. Okay, you're lagging.
okay, Mark, I'll let you unlag first. Zama, ask you. What's your take on this? Is it because Newcastle has the money now? Is the media pushing towards that?
Of course, if you look at it, when money come into the picture, definitely, and we all know lah, the English media, like, coming back to the narrative, the English media will always have that hype about, like, oh, now you have money, you're gonna be the next Man City, you're just gonna throw money senselessly, senselessly to players, coming to get them. But Newcastle, I mean, you look at the team, right? They really got. I mean, Alexander Isak is a good buy. That's definitely one of the good buys that they have.
Isak, right?
Isak.
Yeah.
But and the fact that he's he came in, hit the ground running, scoring goal, and the fact that against Bournemouth he scored a goal, so it says that he is one of the top buys that Newcastle. But for Newcastle to have that momentum, right? That I think they are starting to have that inconsistency. Like this game at home, they against Bournemouth, it's like they actually it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
Yeah, but coming to a draw and then coming back from a goal down, no, it says a lot about whether is it that the consistency is not there, or somehow or rather Eddie Howe is just like, I think, one or two signings away from having that proper team. Even for me, if you ask me, like, Joe Linton, yes, granted, it's not him who reinvented him lah. Reinvented Joe Linton. It's actually Steve Bruce lah. But
Mr. Cabbage Man.
but you cannot be so dependent on the fact that, oh, I managed to get this player to perform even though it's not his position. So I feel like Newcastle is still missing one or two proper signings before they can genuinely have that consistency lah.
Okay. So Mark, I want to ask you, since I couldn't ask you just now, right? So
Yeah.
they are not having the best of seasons, obviously, right? I mean, again, we can say it's early into the season. They need time to gel. So solely focusing on Newcastle. If let's say this erratic form of theirs continues, where it's very hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, and knowing that they've got that Saudi owners who are obviously definitely would be ambitious, right? Do you see Eddie Howe surviving? Actually, do we think that we can bring Eddie Howe into that conversation of managers who could potentially be sacked?
Well, that's a tough question, because the problem with Newcastle now is they are not winning, but neither are they losing. They just have
Yeah.
too many draws, but the problem is they're drawing with teams like Wolves, Crystal Palace, and recently Bournemouth, right? And when they play
The last
big
game.
teams like Newcastle, they turn up. You ask Haizam when they play City,
Yeah.
but at the moment they played the small teams, they went small. They went to go back into the mentality of being the old Newcastle, where okay, we can't break down small teams. They have the possession, but they can't get the goals.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sounds like
wow,
Villa, man. That's what we do
for
as well. But we lose. But we lose instead of drawing.
I think they're
yeah,
also
but
missing, maximum and players like Wilson and all that kind of thing as well. So we
Oh,
will see when they come back.
they are injured, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
That's why
Almiron is not good enough on the right.
yeah.
Almiron is not good enough.
So I think
That's the
when
problem.
Wilson comes back, they're trying to push Isaac on the right and or maybe Max on the right. They want to play these three up front and see how they perform.
Okay. So
But
Daryl, the
they
same question. Do
dropped
you
too many points already.
what?
They dropped too many points already.
Yeah, I
It's
think they
Mm,
got
very
true.
eight
tough. Yeah,
points, 8 points this
They got
season.
Newcastle.
eight.
They
Yeah,
got 8 points.
1-5.
8 points.
Yeah, 5 draws.
5 draws. So Daryl, the question goes to you as well. If let's say the erratic form continues, let's say Albert, what's his name? Saint Maximin comes back and Wilson's back, and they try to have that front three, and this erratic form continues. Example, rhetorically speaking, right? Do you see Eddie Howe potentially being sacked?
There's a chance. There's a chance, lah. I just say there's a chance. If depends on what the owners want to do with this football club. If they want, what is their long-term vision for Newcastle, lah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I will see there's a chance, but very slim chances for him.
Fair enough. Fair
And I
enough.
don't. I
Mhm.
feel Eddie Howe is already actually a very good coach. I really rate him very high. I think
No,
he will turn this around. Yeah.
I rate him as well. I definitely, because I didn't watch this game, and I don't think any of us
But like
watched
like
this
what
game.
like what Zam say, I think this Joe Litton and Willock is not good enough for them to take that next step.
True.
They already sort out their defense. They got
Mhm.
Nick Pope in, and they already sort out their defense. Now the next step is their midfield. Bruno is there, and just the Joe Litton and Willock. They can go to the bench, but they are not good enough to start. I feel
To start,
yeah.
which
To take them to the next
explains,
level,
right?
lah.
Which then explains, right? Because Newcastle, if you ask any Newcastle fans, after they were bought over, heading into the summer transfer window, a lot of expectations would have been there, to buy players. Great, they were not held ransom and they didn't spend over the odds. So they bought like Sven Botman, Nick Pope, they bought Isak. If I'm not wrong, these three were the
Yeah.
major signings for them, lah. Then
Mm.
Botman, Nick Pope, and Isak. But could they have done better then?
Maybe.
At the end of the day, FFP isn't a concern for them because Mike Ashley was so tight with his Spurs that that there's no way they would have breached FFC, right?
Mm.
So is it then now? On the owners, or is it on Eddie Howe? It remains to be seen, right?
Mm.
But based on initial form, Zam, do you think Newcastle will make it to either, like, do you think they'll finish top 10 or even make it to Europe? Not even, they might finish top 10. Let's say, do you think they'll make Europe? Do you think they'll make 7?
Okay. If the momentum that they have to only turning up with big games against big teams, right? But drawing or even having that loss against all the bottom half of the teams, right? I don't think that they're going to make Europe. But then again, it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to form when the transfer window opens, and then we'll see which players and how we're going to buy. To strengthen.
True.
Like I think like what makes Mark say, like Joe Linton, Willock is already basically they are not exactly be able to raise their game to another level. So I think that's where Eddie Howe needs to see how to improve that part of the team, because they are like one or two new signings short on actually pushing that consistency.
Mm.
You know, Visual Inter and Willock, I mean, they are squad players definitely, but they don't have that X factor
True.
to bring that momentum lah. Mm.
Okay. Okay. Before I move on, next topic, guys. Bournemouth, will they stay up or down? Zam.
Interesting. Uh, I don't know. I mean, if you look at it, right, we say Forest going down. Bournemouth. Bournemouth. I think high chance because I don't see them. Did they buy anyone like significant? You know,
Only
like
one player, but I don't even know who lah.
I think that's gonna be. I think they are gonna be one of the three teams lah. You know, we already said Forest. Gonna say
Yeah.
Bournemouth. Yeah.
Daryl?
I think they will go down lah. I don't
Mark?
see them staying up.
I see them staying up because they're already
Wow,
getting all
really,
the crucial victories. Already. Yeah, I think they'll just
Yeah.
survive. I think they'll be fourth last or fifth last because there are three others who deserve to go down. That's what I think.
Exactly. That's why we were coming to that soon. Now, Zam, let's move on. Zam,
Okay.
are we done with? That's like the fourth or fifth match, right? We've got what?
We have three. We covered the Saturday games, so now we are gonna cover the Sunday games, and this is the games that we have the top three topics
Perfect.
that we're gonna cover. Okay.
Perfect.
This is the best one that we have. What a game!
Oh man.
Spurs versus Leicester. The sunny game, the sunny show, coming from the bench and
13
scoring
minutes hat-trick.
13 minutes hat trick. Stuff
And-
made of dreams.
And this is a game, right? So Daryl, I mean, we had a barbecue on Saturday, right? I mean, you would have seen. And I was in the cab going back home with Noah, watching the first half. And Noah was like, "Oh shit, the penalty! What the hell?" You know, he was just going on and on and on, and they scored. And the moment Newcastle equalized, he was like, "Yeah, that's the way you get in." But I tell you, coming back home and watching the second half, it was an absolute treat. Like, man, what a way! I mean,
I thought
Daryl,
the first half I thought, wow, Leicester actually giving a good fight. I don't know what the hell happened in the locker room in the second half. Come on, then once they made a mistake, I think the third goal was a mistake from I forget who. And
NDD with the third goal mistake.
I think after that
the score was 6-2, right?
they just collapsed, just really collapsed. I think they are in big trouble, Leicester City. Really,
We
If
will
they
come
want
to Leicester City in a while. We'll talk about Spurs. What do you think about Son? I mean, what a way to actually
I think
announce.
he was a bit pissed off about not starting as well. I think that's actually good for Tottenham. You know, it's competition for places for them now.
Yeah.
I think that's when they really wake up the idea, and I think Son is a world class player.
And Conte being that SOB he is, right? He simply said, you know, when he was asked, you know, what does he think about, you know, Son not starting, and you know, does he care about the feelings? He said he doesn't care about anybody's feelings. He only picks the first 11 that he feels. So, I mean, Mark, we all watched the game. We were commenting in the group chat. Like, Son, after scoring his first goal, he didn't even celebrate. He just stood there.
Yeah. He was then pissed off.
I think
Oh,
the
tell
second
you,
one, he
man.
also stood there for a while. He stood there for
Yeah.
a while for the second one.
I mean, the Son. I mean, he's very underrated. He is very, very underrated, right? You know, everybody just overlooks him.
I
Like,
think because he's
I-
Asian. Because he's Asian.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I
not
tell
surprised
you,
here.
Because he's Asian.
that fella. I mean, what a way. I mean, I saw this tweet, right? Son gave
I think this
Ronaldo
guy
his-
can go down as the best Asian player ever to play
Probably.
football.
Probably, I think he will surpass Park Ji-sung, and obviously
Yeah,
Sun
yeah.
Ji-hai lah.
I think he already has it. I think he already has the pass.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there, Dips.
Yeah.
No, but let's put this. I think Mark says it right, because he's not spoken in the same equation as the other greats. You know, we know how the English media always talk about Harry Kane. You know, but
Yeah.
Son, you know, he's like the Asian version of Harry Kane. You know, to score 3 goals from the bench and having that
Only Haaland can do that.
maybe, yeah, but then again, you know, the Asian disadvantage, you know, like we don't speak of him on the same breath, you know, like we talk about like world class player like Haaland or Kane or whatnot. Like he turns up, you know, and the fact that like what we said, you know, like what Daryl say, he didn't celebrate. You know, this is, you know,
Yeah.
the fact that you see he was so pissed off. Okay, let's see what are the okay. Is there any comments about the Spurs game? Surprisingly, no one is talking about the Spurs game. That's very weird.
Okay, never mind. It's okay. We will talk.
Yeah,
Let
it's
them
okay.
just listen.
let's see what. Okay, but like what I said, coming from the bench, you see the goals that when he scored, the face. He even I think at the end of the game when he wasn't smiling. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't smiling at all. So I think it's
Mhm.
really the
True.
challenge
Yeah,
lah.
correct. So he was just like, I mean, like as what Daryl said, lah. I mean, he just stood there. He was just cold. You know, he just stood there, and I think and I think that shows it all. That shows it all. And I mean, moving on from Sun, and let's just talking about Spurs itself, right? It's okay. Again, it is only one quarter of the season that's done, so we still have a long way to go. We all know how Man City will, eventually roll over everyone. But Daryl, Spurs, do you think they really could be dark horses? I mean, we'll come to another dark horse in a while,
I
the
think
the, the
yes.
other North London. But yeah.
I think Spurs can be a dark horses because Conte has won the league. With this style of play, I sit and I counter kind of football.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they can, but I think City is going to run away with it. But I think they can give a close fight. They can.
Right.
Chances are very
Okay.
slight.
And I mean, Mark, yeah, I mean, for you guys, obviously they are direct competitors for a top four, right? But
Yes.
do you think that they could be a dark horse?
For the title or top,
Title,
or
title,
top four?
dark horse for title, bro. I think top four is a given, lah. I think they're gonna get top four, lah.
Hmm. For title, they have a chance lah. But okay, who they play? So far, Chelsea away 2-2, which Chelsea is in a mess as well.
Mhm.
Actually, I wanted to look at them play City. Then the game got postponed.
Postpone, yeah.
Then we can judge their quality because United already played Arsenal and Liverpool already. So I wanted to judge how Spurs will play against the big teams. You see, then from there we can gauge. But so far they are killing all the small teams lah. That's the important thing of
And I
getting
mean,
top
I
four.
mean, to actually be there, to be where you are, you need to do this kill off the small teams, which is exactly what
Yes.
Man City has done. And once in a while they just give like Robin Hood, like, okay, let Crystal Palace win lah, let Villa draw lah,
Yeah.
But this is what you need to do. So okay, fair enough. I mean, we'll see like when they play City and the big teams, right? And
Yeah.
obviously their next test is on like the 1st of October when we come back from international break,
London Derby. Yeah.
London Derby, right? So we will see how that is. Now let's move on from Spurs, Zami. Let's bring up our next thing, and this is going to be interesting because a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Frank Lampard. Oh, no, sorry, not yeah, Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard possibly facing the sack, right? But right now, these two are not even in the question, right? So Zami, do you have the slide for us?
Okay. Was this background? So okay. So we are gonna talk about the Under Pressure FC, right?
Under Pressure FC. Like
Yeah.
literally we did the show 3 weeks ago, right? It was two different faces. It was Lampard and Gerrard. Right now, it's Rodgers and Moyes. The only common ground, they're all English. I mean, before we go to West Ham, right? Leicester, Zam, how poor have they been?
It's a surprise, no. To be honest with you, right? I think we spoke about this. Like, how did Leicester turn out so bad? I think we spoke about this past few shows as well. Like, how did they became where they are? Like losing, and suddenly it became like the team that not Premiership quality.
Yep.
So it's really baffling. And I think the next question is this: has Brendan Rodgers picked as a manager in Leicester? And I think is it time for him to actually for the owners to cut the losses and tell him, yeah.
I think when we talk about Brendan Rodgers, I think we've got the best person here, right, Daryl? He was with you guys for 3 seasons, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I for one know this person, and obviously Daryl, you know him as well, Premnath. When Premnath did tell me, like, how Rodgers is actually like a like a scammer. He comes in with this reputation, but after the third season, he just curtails off. And this is Rodgers' third season, going on to the fourth season, if I'm not wrong. So,
Yeah.
like, what do you think?
I think he will be sacked in the next few days. I just got this feeling he's done. I think he himself knows it. I think he just lost the dressing room. I think they never invest as well. this Dhaka and all these players that's just not good enough lah. Not good enough. No, and if they sold who are Fofana and one more,
Fofana.
right? One more
They
player,
sold
right?
Fofana for 80 million.
Oh yeah.
One more.
Was there someone else who was sold?
So I think they never reinvest. Vardy is getting old.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes and Madison just comes back from injury. I think he's the only one that actually literally playing well for them. So Casper Schmeichel left. They also lost
Yeah,
a
Casper
very
Schmeichel, that's
big,
right.
big personality in the team. So I feel that he really lost the team. I think
You see,
he will-
that is where
But again, I say that he's not a bad manager. It's just that he's just straight. I feel.
I tell you, we're talking about Brendan Rodgers. Even the computer doesn't like. I think. No,
It's
okay,
buzzing.
but Daryl, moving on. I mean, okay, let's put it in this perspective, right? Leicester hasn't spent money, right? So they sold Fofana for 80 million. They sold their keeper like for 1 million, and they didn't invest, and they kept their second keeper who isn't performing any better. Does this then lie on Rodgers? Because even if they do end up sacking Rodgers, right? Who is going to take up the hot seat knowing that this?
That's another question lah. So I don't know who can come around and save them from I think now their focus should be escaping a relegation battle. They need to escape that thing lah. So I don't know who's the best in escaping relegation battle. But Allardyce, I don't know who that can come and save them.
So, Mark, don't you think in that aspect they are better off sticking with Rodgers and then seeing how it goes instead of sacking him?
Actually, the problem now is they are not signing players. They are letting players go, but they are not signing to cover up the holes. So you see, the only player they bought after Fofana left was Wout Fast, which was that Belgian player from Reims who played against Spurs. I mean, he was impressive, partnering alongside Evans.
Oh, that's the curly head guy that looked like Cucurella.
Wout Fast, and he's damn good. You see the way he bombed from the back, and you see the way he reads the game, right? I see him like Bella Kocha.
Okay.
And he's starting he's playing for Belgium also, the national team.
Mm.
But the point is, other than Tielemans, Madison, the usual, right? Okay, they got rid of Jamaica, and they replaced him with Danny Ward, and Danny Ward only plays well for Wales. So I don't understand where Leicester is going now. But you can see Ndidi already down tools already. Ndidi is not the same Ndidi who we all wanted 2 seasons back. Against United and the past few games, he's been arguing with Danny Ward, and he was the guy who lost the ball to a Spurs counter, right? Ndidi.
Yeah, he's the one who lost it to I think Son's first or second goal. He lost it, or even third goal. I think, if I'm not wrong, he lost it, and then Son just took it out from there.
Yeah, and if your DM loses possession from there and it's not on form, right, you're going to lose a lot of goals. But Leicester's has been impressive because Madison deserves the England call. Madison has been on fire for them this season already.
I mean, if you're going to talk about the England call-up and Southgate, we'd probably go on for another 2 hours.
Yeah, but it's a mess. Leicester right now is a mess. Yeah.
So I mean, before we move on to the next team, right? Mark, Leicester, do you think they will survive?
Oh, no way. They're going down. No way.
Daryl?
I think they will. I think they will escape.
Do you think they'll escape?
I think they will.
Wow. I personally think they're down. They're like down. I don't see them because they haven't won a game, and I don't see how. But interesting. And Zam, I mean, Zam. Before we go, and I understand we're trying to pick some comments up, and something's happening.
Yeah.
So, but let's see. Do you?
I see. Okay, I see. I
Leicester
will
will
pick up
survive.
one comment. I will pick up comment from Prem lah. Okay, so Brendan Rodgers sacked the coach. Why is this so static? Something. Okay. Even we talk about Leicester, even the computer doesn't want to talk. Okay, but like what I said about Leicester, I think Brendan Rodgers tried to do a power play in that sense lah. Having that having that ultimate control, and I think what Prem mentioned, sack their scout, who helped Ranieri. So it's really I feel that Rodgers have passed his stage. That's what I feel in that sense. who's this? Okay, so I'll just pick up the comments lah.
Sure.
Prem mentioned about is this coming from me? What is wrong with? Sorry for the technical.
Zam, I tell you, alamak, you get your UAE guy, okay, to give some money to you. Zam, you sort out your stuff. I'm just gonna play
Okay.
in the background, lah, okay? Hey, it's not Zam, lah. I tell you, I think a mosquito entered the stream.
It's not me
Not
lah.
Zam.
It's not you, lah.
I think it's
not
mine.
me
I think it's
lah.
mine.
Mark ah. Say Mark.
Let's.
It's Mark lah.
Mark.
Mark.
When you want
Thanks
to
one more
talk, then
time.
I'll bring you on, okay? Or when you want to talk, then you unmute.
Okay, why is that? Okay, it's Mark confirm. 100% is Mark. Okay, so anyway, since the comments are not appearing, so we'll just we'll pick up about the Leicester.
Let's go.
Tristan, Tristan mentioned it. He pity Rodgers. Poor management of the club, losing key players at the final minutes of the window. Players who meant to go didn't go. Players who wanted to go didn't go. So many outs. Poor team management from the top. I agree in that sense.
Yep.
But then it says a lot about how Brendan Rodgers man management skills. Like he should have expected that transfer deadline, he should have discussed with his team, like what are the players that you need to replace, what are the players that, and I think the Fofana drama is another blot in his managerial career. Like that Chelsea is going left, right, center for players. You didn't even do any backup, and then we know about Kasper Schmeichel. You let him go without any. So, I feel like Brendan Rodgers have no one else to blame but himself, because you see, like what I mentioned.
Why do you not think it's the board though? Why do you think it's Brendan Rodgers?
Okay, because you see, if it's the board, then you see he could have just communicated with the board. Because if you look at it, like the Thai owners are not ruthless as per compared to Chelsea owners. They don't sack that. I think they have given a bit of leeway in that sense. Like you could have done your deal. You could have done a deal. You can have made the deal about early, but then you chose not to. And then when transfer deadline came, it became like one chatuchak market. Players want to leave, and then you have no backup replacement. You have no one, it says a lot about like you are not forward thinking, like obviously Brendan Rodgers is not thinking ahead. Okay, we need to replace Kasper Schmeichel. Who do we have in the market? If you look at it, Arsenal sold Lino to Fulham. They could have gone for Lino.
True.
But then again, no. Why? Then that's where you see Brendan Rodgers as a manager. That's his shortcoming. It's like he wanted absolute power. He wants to be that old school kind of manager. But on hindsight, you realize that you as a manager, you didn't have foresight in how moving forward for the new season. You can blame the board for all that, for all that we can. But at the end of the day, as the manager, you still have a say. You're not a coach. You're a manager.
Fair enough, and I think Prem Prem agrees with you. I mean, Prem is, I think, an absolute critic of Rodgers, and he told me this when Gerrard was hired, right? And I think this is like him licking his ice cream. There's nothing to pity Rodgers. Well said, Zam, power controlling freak. So, Zam, before we go to the other team that's in question, Leicester, do you think they're going to stay or they will go down?
The third team lah. The third team that will go down lah.
So your three teams are Forest, Bournemouth, and Leicester.
Forest, Bournemouth, Leicester. That's not, by the looks of it, right? That's my top. That's my bottom three lah. They will go down lah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and the other team we're going to talk about, right? I mean, David Moyes and West Ham, right? Again, not the best of start. And they actually haven't been very great when I watched them play. And obviously their only win of the season came against the team that gives money to everyone, which is Villa, Albeit it was a deflection that caused that goal. A win is a win, right? We can't take that away from them. But apart from that, West Ham, with Lucas Paqueta, Said Benrahma, Jared Bowen, Skamaka, Antonio. I mean, your English poster boy Declan Rice.
Declan.
You know, Suchek, Sufal, Timo Kehrer. You know, I mean, the list goes on. I mean, Mark, I'm going to give you the opportunity to come back on for a moment. We'll try. But what do you make of West Ham?
West Ham. I think they perform better in Europe.
I think you are like West Ham right now.
Why?
Okay, go
Am I
ahead. Go
lagging
ahead.
again?
No,
No,
go
you're
ahead.
not lagging.
Or I think they play better in Europe than in England this season.
Okay,
Won't be
and obviously
surprised
there's
that
going to be a cause for concern, right? If they're going to play better in Europe than England when their main league is the England and their main focus is England.
because their only route to Europa should be the conference already. If you're looking at it now,
Mm-hmm.
how are they going to catch up all the way to top 7? Because looking at the way they go, they are second
So
last,
you
right?
really
Yeah,
think that based on this, they can still make it to Europa League this season?
cannot, because conference should be too easy for them.
So how they've been performing, I mean, they've got their teams that is above them. You think they still can make it to Europa?
I don't know. Actually, the game that I watched West Ham play was actually West Ham versus Spurs, where they got a draw which they should have won 3-1.
That was the
That
first
was
game of the
I
season, that means, right? Or something along that line. No, it wasn't because they
third
lost their
game.
first 3 games. No, they lost their
Yeah,
first 3 games, 0 goals scored. Their fourth game, they beat Villa. That is 3 points. So it must have been the fifth game. That means they drew with Spurs.
yeah, and actually they should have won that game easily. They were the better
Mhm.
team. And from the first 20 minutes, okay, Spurs control. Then after that was all West Ham already.
Okay,
So to
interesting.
me,
So your take is Moyes is not under pressure and he can actually, he will still be around.
I think another 5 games, if he continues this losing streak, he'll be under pressure. That's for sure. You can't be performing in Europe and be bottom of the league.
True, that's true.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks for input, Mark, but you have to mute yourself again.
No, I think
Yeah, Darren.
Moyes needs to actually drop players like Bowen and Antonio. They are actually terrible
True.
from start of the season. I think he should try to bring in the Cornet and start the Cornet and Skamaka and players like that. He needs to do that. I think Bowen has been
Interesting that you said
super.
Kamaka. No, he hasn't been performing that well.
Yeah.
No,
He's a
yeah, so
flop
he's
actually.
coming for.
So far.
So Antonio is also not performing as well.
Yeah.
If you look at it, so I think he needs to actually work around and drop players to actually see
True.
what he can do with them.
But again, like West Ham and strikers, they don't go hand in hand. They've got like
yeah.
they can probably like how you say Liverpool can buy Haaland and Haaland will not score and Liverpool will perform. I think West Ham can buy even Mbappe or even Benzema and the striker will not perform. They've had that curse before, the striker curse for like since 2010. But okay, fair enough. So you think that Antonio should be dropped, and Owen should be dropped, and Maxwell Cornet and Ben Rama and all that should be given a chance.
Yeah.
West Ham, another one that has an old keeper. They need a younger goalkeeper. But they just bought the Ariola.
Yeah,
Ariola, they got Fabianski and Ariola.
Yeah, Fabianski. So and then they have I think Hegi, the Hungarian goalkeeper who's young. So I don't think it's about young. Okay, if you look at it, it's funny that last season, West Ham and Leicester was 7 and 8.
Leicester was 8 last season.
Leicester was 8 last season.
Oh, okay.
Final, no, and then this season, these two teams, Leicester, West Ham and Leicester, bottom of the table after seven games.
Oh, West Ham is 19, is it? Leicester is 20th. That is
West Ham is 18. Leicester is
so
20.
19 is for us.
For us.
Okay.
So the thing is that with Moyes, I think what Mark mentioned, about the fact that
I'm going to put Mark in the background again.
about the fact that Moyes, I think the European distraction is there. That's why I think that's why the momentum is being affected in the league.
But if you talk about European distraction, right? I mean, I wanna play both sides, right? And I want to play devil's advocate here. If you want to talk about the European distraction, didn't they have it last season?
Good question actually. But okay,
right? Europa Conference League.
But last season, Mikel Antonio was considered their form player. I think
Jared Bowen
as well. So this season, I don't know. Maybe it's the second season European syndrome. I don't know. I mean,
what is this? Zami Buto are you second season European syndrome?
Can happen, what?
So even okay. So you feel that this could be down to the players' momentum, and I mean, obviously, no one expects players to perform at the top level every time. Players
Mm.
do go out of form, right? Even the best players do go out of form at times, right? But watching them play, I mean, apart from that game, maybe that Mark mentioned against Spurs, I think they have just been equally as bad as well. So can't be the whole team be like that, what?
I think the might be the hype train lah. I feel like I don't know. I mean, West Ham has always been I would say that a team that is frustrating to watch even for West Ham fans. When they are good, they are really damn solid. But when they are bad, right, you cannot put a false you cannot put your finger to the pulse. Like what's happening? Like like if you look on paper, their team is strong. Skamaka, came in with so much hype.
Yep,
But like what you mentioned earlier on, West Ham and strikers don't work well.
yep. And I think if I'm not wrong, before West Ham bought Kamaka, I think he was heavily linked with Newcastle, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think then Sunil must be relieving a huge sigh that Kamaka didn't go to Newcastle and go Isak instead.
Oh, this is interesting. The miss of Mark Noble, lah, the club captain. I think that's possible. That's possible actually. If you look at it, I mean, why not?
Interesting. Thanks. Actually,
Mm.
very, 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 very food for thought, no, Ridwan. Thanks.
Mm.
Maybe Noble, he could have been that, that factor that kept everyone together. Like if you talk about
Mm.
it after Noble, who are the leaders in the dressing room? Fabianski, Aaron Cresswell, and maybe Declan Rice. It's
Mm.
not too bad
Mm.
either, what? Right?
But then I think if you look at it, Mark Noble is Mr. West Ham.
That's true lah. That's true lah. I mean,
So I guess when I think every club when you have that leader that goes right. I mean, if you look at the pyramid, if he is the main leader of the club, that goes. I think it's gonna be that struggle. Like, okay, who can we look up to when the chips are
we all
down?
know look no further than United lah. The moment the leader went, look at what happened. All right. Okay. Before we move on, last topic, right? Okay, we already got the answer from Mark, right? Zami, West Ham. What do you think?
They will survive lah. They will survive. They will pull out the ups. They will pull up the.
Darren, what do you think?
Yeah, they will survive. I think they will pull it.
Yeah, I think they'll survive as well. I think it's just a purple. I mean, a rough patch. Maybe they'll hit purple
Yep,
patch
yep.
soon. And Mark, obviously, we got yours. You say that they will qualify for Europa Conference League. One more. We'll pick up one more comment before we move on to our last topic, right?
Tristan.
Tristan, old school tactics not working with a new crop of younger talents. Time for Moyes to retire. Interesting. I think it's a food for thought for everyone. And so Zami, let's go to our last topic, right?
Yes.
The only person, the only team, I think. I mean, if he was here, he'll be saying null and void the league right now. Right?
Yeah, he's not even available to comment on the show.
Yeah,
So
he is
I'm
that
very surprised.
busy.
He's
Maybe
he's playing humble brag, no? Like he doesn't, he
No.
knows his team is top, but he's not showing off.
I think he's having a nice kick about with the boys, right? But come on. I mean, let's who. I mean, obviously we all know who we're talking about. We're talking about the mighty goodness.
The mighty goodness.
3-0 against Brentford. Mark Zam, you guys would have known how he was going during our barbecue, saying that they are going to lose. He's going to go, he's going to go into the cave. Tony's going to score. And then, fella went absolutely quiet on Sunday. Daryl, believe it or not, there was no reply from him. There was nothing from him. No message, nothing. I don't know.
He's playing it cool. He's just
Anwari,
playing it quiet.
Beijing for Anwari. If you can hear us, please reply. No, but Brentford, Arsenal 3. We all thought it'll be a draw. Some even thought that Arsenal will probably lose to Brentford. And considering the last game they lost to United, but 3-0. And I think it's a pretty impressive win. Jesus got on score sheet, Saka with 2 assists. Daryl, what are your thoughts on this, and what are your thoughts on actually Arsenal since the start of the season, 8 games in or 7 games in?
I think they actually are actually a very impressive team. Okay, like they lost to United. Actually, the game also they played actually quite well. But I want to see them in the next 2 games. I want to see them against Spurs. I want to see them against Liverpool. For me to actually see whether they can be a dark horse for the title or not.
Right.
I'm not gonna stand here and say now since they are top, they are actually gonna give City a run. They will drop. Arsenal will drop. But I just want to see how they perform against Spurs and Liverpool.
Right. So before we move to the other two, right? So I want to just take this from you as well. So you said that you feel that Spurs are a dark horse to the title, right? And obviously you say you're not going to comment now, but on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate of Arsenal chances at this moment?
This moment, 7, 7, 8, 7 around there.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
We'll get to come to Zam. I mean, Mark, I'll give you a chance to talk now. I mean, obviously, you guys, Arsenal and United, you guys have had that historic rivalry in the early 2000s, right? Everybody loved to see that, and both the teams had a dip of form, right? United were on the decline, obviously, and Arsenal were on the decline as well. And now Arsenal's picking up pace, and we hope that United picks up pace. So with that in space, growing up watching that rivalry between Arsenal United, that back to back, how do you feel as a United fan to see Arsenal performing like this?
Oh, it feel like the good old days, man, when Arsenal are back and United are on a winning run. But okay, that game, the win over Arsenal, that brought me back to 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I see that, wow, this Arsenal team is quite scary. When I watch the game, this Arsenal team really give me chills. That they will come back from 3-1 or 2-1 actually.
Okay,
And
okay.
these guys are. I don't need to judge Arsenal. I told An that this Arsenal team is damn strong. And how
Fair
you
enough.
is because we were prolific. On another day, if you're playing another top team and they don't turn up, we all sure win. Arsenal, you see the way they play against United. They had so much possession, they attacked well, but we were just very prolific. We converted,
Compared to Arsenal,
I
lah.
think, we converted most of our big chances. I think 3 out of 4. We only had 4 big chances, but we converted 3.
I mean, at the end
So
of the
on
day, in
another
football,
day,
that's what matters, right? You convert your chance, you score the goals, and what Michael Owen says, goals wins you game, obviously, right?
The thing is,
Whoever
I think
scores
we
the goals
also,
wins the game.
Obvious.
I think we also need to, like what we need. They had the easiest fixtures to start the Premier League with also.
Yeah.
So the first big team they played, they lost.
Right, okay.
Let's
Yeah.
be honest here.
It was
So,
us.
yeah, it's against United, they lost. So now the next 2 games, that's when we really know who is this Arsenal and what are they about actually.
Interesting point. Actually, yeah, Zami is Daryl's got a very interesting point, right? I mean, Arsenal supposedly had the easiest game, but we can't take it away. A lot of easy games. I mean, I would personally say there are not much easy games, but yes, I get where you're coming from. The real test comes after the international break, the North London Derby and the game against Liverpool. But Zami, Arteta, right? Obviously, fans were calling for his head. Not last
Two
season, or
seasons.
even two
Two
seasons ago, at the start of last
seasons ago,
season,
yeah.
where they lost their first 3 games, right? Fans were calling for his head, and Arsenal stuck by, and decided to, stay with him. So we are seeing the fruits of the labor right now, right?
Mm.
But do you think that this Arteta thing came from him, being being Pep's assistant for a couple of seasons and finally implementing his own tactics?
Okay, let's give credit when it's due. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
he may have been an assistant manager to Pep, at City, and I think we talk about him, his role in City as an assistant manager was to put up the cones,
Mm-hmm.
but then learning from a great manager, I mean working side by side. There's two way to it, lah. It's either you take that ideology and build your own identity on it. And I think that's what he did for the past 2 seasons. That's
Mm-hmm.
why the hands the no hand trust the process, trust the process.
Trust the process.
Yeah, trust the process. I remember that. No, but now you look at it, like, I think with Arsenal being patient with him, not jumping the gun and firing him, I know sacking him when things were rocky.
Mm-hmm.
I think it really helped Arteta in the sense that he has put his foot down in that sense. I mean, even if you look like how I think there's videos about how he was so passionate, saying that
Mm-hmm.
play for the badge, even telling the club cameraman, like speak to the players,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you got to give him credit. Granit Xhaka,
Yep. Yep.
was previous, before that he was, already people were saying, oh, he's gonna leave the club already, because the fact that he can go against the player, he can go against the fans, but then Arteta managed to transform him, basically give him the redemption of being an Arsenal player. And look, he works manager. So I think that kind of manager is the kind where if you trust the manager well enough, I think this is the reaping the rewards lah. And I feel like like what Akil said, there is no easy game in EPL. True. I think we mentioned against Brentford. Brentford is one of Arsenal's boogie teams. I think for the past 2 seasons, even past 2 seasons. And An himself said he doesn't like Brentford. An is one Arsenal fan who said that he hates Brentford so much, to the fact that he knows that Brentford is that boogie team. I think previously we mentioned Arsenal may start to have that momentum knocked out, gonna lose or even draw against Brentford. And look, 3 goals. It says a lot about that mentality. And I think like what if remember Arsenal playing against City game, but it will postpone. What's it? Okay. Cal says it, big decision. Aubameyang, Lacazette, going. I think that's testament on how he as a manager, not taking any credit away from him. You can say that he learned from Pep, but that's not the point. Ole learned from Ferguson. But look what happened. The fans were calling for Ole out. So it's about that mindset and about that mentality, and also that mental strength of like, okay, you managed to ride the haters of the fans. You managed to get the right players, and if Arsenal managed to do the impossible by winning the title this season, people will be saying Arteta is a genius. Pulling strings here and there, managed to get Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, and then getting Fabio Silva, Saka performing. It's really miracle lah. So I think giving credit when it's due lah. That's the important part lah.
Okay, well, very, very interesting take, right, Zami? Okay, and thank you very much for that. And I mean, okay, before we end the show, where do you think Arsenal? So Arsenal dark horse. I mean, same questions I'm going to ask you.
Okay, top 3 definitely.
Top 3.
Top 3.
Interesting.
I'm not going to be biased. Okay, let's put my biasness aside. If people will say, City is going to win the title, but don't be surprised if Arsenal can do that impossible, because if that is the momentum that they have, why not? It can happen,
True. All right. Anyway, everyone, with that being said, obviously, we've come to the last topic. We've managed to cover the 7 matches that were played. Unfortunately, Leeds, Chelsea, Palace, United, and who else? Leeds, Chelsea, Palace, United, and Liverpool and
United, basically, I would say like more than half of the league lah.
About 6 teams lah. Technically 6 teams lah. So we those 6 teams didn't play, and obviously after this we have the international break coming up, and the next round of EPL fixtures will resume on the 1st of October, which would also mean we, the Napshot boys, will be taking a break, and we will be having our own international break. But we are not going to travel anywhere. In fact, we're going to take you back on time, watch this video, and we will then when we're going to say our goodbyes. Just take a moment, watch this video. We will see you when we come back after October 1st, and we'll review the next round of games. All right. With that being said, a big shout out again to always Daryl. Thank you for coming in, man.
No
right?
problem,
We
guys.
appreciate
No
you.
problem.
I think we can. He's an honorary Napshot lah. Okay. Mark, as always, thank you very much for chiming in. Zami, thank you very much again. For being the person you are, and obviously this is your boy, and Joel hates me saying that. This is your boy Demon signing out, and we got this for you guys. If it plays, let's see.
What do you call a fish that wears a bow tie? So fish. What do you call a bear with a beard? A bee.
You only need one Spurs guy in the group to spoil the party. And this is the guy. Look at his face. Spursy. Spursy. Good one. Looking serious. Ball back to the court. And then we've got Aston Villa featuring Spurs. Unlikely partnership. Going for the service. Going for the serve. Sweet.
All right, with that, I'm sorry, the video just got elongated. With that, we're taking our bye. Goodbyes. See you guys soon. Signing off.